This Sabbath, it is my privilege to introduce our 8th grade graduating class, Imani Evangeline and Cedar Umutoni. How can it already be time to pass you on to higher education? Without a doubt, both of you are ready. You study hard, and I must say, what a blast it is as a teacher to have students so eager to dive in and learn what they can. Both of you go above and beyond, never settling for the minimum. You reflect deeply in your handwriting journals. You evaluate and contemplate in your literature. You do the extra credit in math and keep tackling a problem until it is solved. Those are life skills that will go with you. Those are character building qualities. Sorry. Numerous times, you both have stepped up to help in the classroom, grading spelling or phonics, or just helping out. If our volunteer couldn't make it, you would go and assist in the kindergarten. You are young ladies that can be counted on and will be dearly missed. I will miss your thoughtful input. I will miss your thoughtful input in classroom discussions, your bursts of laughter, and your sweet smiles. You have exercised self-control and patience this year when I go on too long about brain cells, growth mindset, and potential. Or when a young classmate asks how babies come out. Thank you for maintaining your gracious composure most of the time. Cecile, you have been at ACA for 8 years, and I have loved watching you become a brilliant and hardworking young lady. You were the young 4th grader in my classroom and held your own perfectly, not to be left behind by the older kids. You're a diligent and hard worker. I know whether it's sweeping the floor or binomials, you'll give it your best. Imani, when you first arrived 3 years ago, you were a little wary and cautious about a new school and friends. But the way you put your heart into it has raised the standard for everyone else. You persist. I've seen you use a half a page to figure out a math calculation, and it's rare you will ask for help, as you are determined to work it out on your own. While selfishly I love for you both to stay on, you must spread your wings, conquer your next step, and follow your dreams. God has a plan and a purpose just for you, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Happy Sabbath. I'm Imani, and I have been attending Andrews Christian Academy for 3 whole years. This was a great experience and a step closer to God for me. I met new people and learned more things because of them. I thank God for putting the school, its teachers, students, and volunteers in my life. They have taught me the importance of sharing the love of God to others. I also learned how to put others before myself because of them. I want to say thank you to many people, but that would take all morning, so I'll just make this quick. I'd like to thank the teachers first. Mrs. Olson, you are an amazing person. You are not only my teacher, but you are a mother, principal and nurse of the school, and also prayer warrior. You have helped me in a special way. Thank you for being the great inspiration you are. Mrs. Glazier, you're a really honest and helpful person. You gave us great advice and told us where we went wrong in certain situations. I know grading papers and teaching PE weren't the best things to do, but you had patience with us for years. Thank you for advising and helping me. I want to thank Mrs. Davis also, even though she isn't here today. I'd like to thank her for being the awesome and fun teacher she was at the school. She helped in Magabook and the trip to Lost Island. I thank her for the fun and love she brought to the school. Ms. Shibo, you have been a great help to the school. Thank you for teaching at this school when we're in need of someone. I appreciate your time and effort you had put into K4. Thank you, Mrs. Wilson, even though she's not here, and Mrs. Sternowski for both of your time in teaching us art and music. You have taught me so much these past years. Mr. Sternowski, thank you very much for coming to teach saxophone. It was great learning a new instrument. All of you have sacrificed your time and shared your talent to teach us wonderful things. Mr. and Mrs. Cromwell, thank you so much for being our Pathfinders leaders and guiding us in PBE. You have taught well and made things awesome and exciting for me. Your help in hot lunches and driving the van is really appreciated. I deeply appreciate everything you all have done for me and my relationship with God and others. Thank you for molding me for higher education. I thank God for putting you in my path to success. Now my family. First, I'd like to thank my mom. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been standing here thanking her. I thank her for raising me up to be the person I am today. She has taught me so many things throughout my few years of learning. She's the best mother, and I wouldn't trade her for anything. Next, my dad. Thank you for letting me have an Adventist education when I wanted it. You have put so much time and money for me to make it here today. Thank you for being a great father and teaching me the ways of the Bible. Now my siblings. Even though I may not share my gratitude all the time, just know that everything you do for me is noticed. Thank you for teaching me to be patient and independent. I want to thank you all for praying for me in this family. God bless you all. Thank you to all my church family for supporting me and investing in my education. Thank you, friends, for being there for me when I needed you. And thank you for blessing me with all the positivity and happiness you brought in my life. I want to show my gratitude to all those who made Magabook a possibility. I'm looking at you, Pastor Scott, Mrs. Hackinson, Mrs. Golightly, Mrs. Anderson, Ms. Crystal, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, and even Mr. Goodenough. Thank you, Mrs. Long, for having Bible study with us, and Jameson for teaching us to crochet. Thank you to everyone who helped in PFing. I made lasting bonds with my dear elderly family. Thank you to my Pathfinder family, the Cromwells, Mrs. Morse, Brandon, Nessa, Anna, Ariana, Cecile, Barry, John, and Dina for having a great time at Fall and Spring Camporee, Honors Weekend, and at all the competition. Thank you all. God bless.
Good morning and happy Sabbath. My name is Cedar Mutoni, and I have attended ACA for 8 years now. It has been a fun and long ride, but I have finally made it, and I truly appreciate all the time and effort put into my education. I first want to thank Mrs. Olson. From the 5 years I spent in your classroom, I can honestly say that I have grown to have a stronger connection with God and you. You have such a kind heart and always come to school with a smile. You are so determined for every single child to have a Christian education. And you put so much time and effort into my life, and I'm so appreciative. And most importantly, thank you for all the wisdom you have taught me. Next, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for giving me the opportunity to have a Christian education. My parents supported me every inch of the way and always encouraged me to do my best. I really appreciate all the sacrifices you have made for me and my siblings. There's not one day that all your hard work goes by unappreciated. Thank you, and I love you guys so much. Mrs. Glazier has been like a grandma to me all my years at ACA and even before that. She's always available to anyone who needs help and also a great mentor. There are a lot of things that she does because of her love for the school. She is a very strong and lovely woman of God who I've learned a lot from and who I truly appreciate. Thank you, Mrs. Glazier. Ms. Shivo, even though I've only known you for a year, you have been such a great addition to our ACA family. You came to our school with a smile on your face every day and immediately brightened up my day. And I appreciate all the work you put into the lower grade classroom. Thank you. I want to thank this next person personally for the multiple things she did in my life, Mrs. Anderson. She went from being my cradle roll teacher to my piano teacher of 2 years, to my PFE partner, to my mega booking driver, and also a great help at the school. You put so many people before yourself and have taught me many things like patience. I appreciate everything that you've done for me. Thank you. I would like to thank Grandma Long for all the time that she spent with me studying the Bible about virtuous women and for teaching me how to crochet. Thank you for always keeping me in your prayers, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Cromwells, for being really great Pathfinder leaders and all the hard work that you guys have put in the school. You guys have a special place in my heart, and I'm truly appreciative. Mrs. Golightly, Miss Crystal, Mrs. Rawson, and many more, but mainly the people who have helped at the school and with mega booking. I want to thank you for making it possible for many students like me to have a shot at Christian education. I'm truly appreciative of all the time and effort you put in for me and my fellow students at ACA. Mr. and Mrs. Sternansky and Mrs. Wilson, thank you for making the school year's arts and music programs so educational and fun. I cannot think of any other people who could fulfill these jobs any better than you guys did, and I and the students at ACA are truly blessed. To all my siblings, Monica, Shadi, Dativa, and Abel. You guys are the greatest people, and I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to grow up with you guys. Thank you, Shadi and Abel, for always being there after school to listen to me complain, and for Monica for literally raising me, and for always being there when I needed someone to talk to, and Dativa for teaching me patience. I appreciate every single one of you. Coming to ACA wasn't easy, but with the right people, I had a blast. With Leah, Jessica, Imani, Ariana, Barry, Gentle, John, Matthew, Johnson, and many more. At first, I didn't really see a difference with the Christian academy and a normal public school. So I was very confused when my father took me out. But I realized the differences in some of the students that had transferred from public school, and I just knew it was the best education for a student. ACA makes a big impact on students' lives. There's a lot of people I forgot to thank, but if you ever prayed for me or helped me in any way, I truly appreciate it, and I'm really grateful. Thank you for your time, and have a blessed Sabbath. Our next thing that we want to do is introduce our speaker. Some of you guys know him as his name is Idishira Gideoni, but some of you guys know him as Chiza or Pray God.
He's a great role model for the youth and is a humble, selfless person. He is a blessing to many. He has wisdom and knowledge and is blessed by God. Give it up for Chiza.
Welcome, Chiza.
Happy Sabbath, church. Happy Sabbath. All right, it's an honor to be standing here this morning on this blessed Sabbath day to just spend the time with God. And not only that, but to also celebrate the graduation of Cedar Umutoni and Imani Evangeline. These two young ladies are just amazing. I don't even know where to begin to try to talk about them, but each one of them have an amazing personality, and they're just so unique, and that just draws people to just want to be their friends. And I want to say that I am truly humbled and honored that I am your friend. Cecilia Umutoni before I met her, I used to always be, people always told me that I was mature, I was mature beyond my age. But that was until I met Cecilia. Cecilia is so mature that if like girls her age are like at this level, she's like 5 times that. And she is just a leader. She is a leader, and I am pretty sure God has a plan for you. God has a plan for you. And Imani, like Mrs. Olson said, she is cautious about everything. I remember when I first met her, she was from New York, and she did not want me to like get anywhere close to her. I was trying to be her friend, but she didn't know me that well, so she was just trying to push me out like, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you're trying to do, but just stay away from me for now until I get to know you. It's like she has a do not enter sign just like there. It's invisible. But, you know, over time she gets to know you, and she finally lets you in. And when she does, you do not want to leave. You find out that she is the most kind, loving, and caring person you will ever meet. In fact, both of these girls are. And I am just humbled that you chose me to be the speaker for today. I actually had second thoughts when I first received your letter, because I didn't feel like I was the person for this. But then I prayed, and I'm guessing the fact that I'm here is the answer to my prayers. And they also gave me a class verse, and that is the verse we read earlier this morning, Psalms 111, verse 10. It's one of my favorite Bible verses, and I'm going to read it again. Psalms 111, verse 10. Verse 10. And that is what we're going to look at this morning and try to and hear from God. But before I read it, let's open with a word of prayer. Dear God, I just want to thank you for everything you do. Thank you for these young ladies, for what you have done for them, for being with them throughout their school year until now, as we celebrate their accomplishment. I pray that you be here with us and help us not only see the things that they have done, but let us see that you were the one that made them able to accomplish the things that they did. And I pray that you be with us today as we open your word. May your Holy Spirit come into our hearts and just teach us what you want us to learn from this word. In your name I pray. Amen. All right. Psalms 111, verse 10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." I'm reading from the King James Version. "A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever." I also want to read this other verse that is one of my favorite too, is Proverbs, I believe it's 9, verse 10. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding." The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Let us look at the fear of the Lord first, just that phrase, the fear of the Lord. What is the fear of the Lord? In the book of Proverbs 8:13, it tells us, I'm going to read it, 8:13 says that the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. So the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. And then let us look at wisdom. What is wisdom? Because that is the result of fearing God. But what is wisdom? And wisdom, according to the dictionary, I tried to look it up, and I put it in my own words. And he said that wisdom is acting or making a decision based on experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Making a decision, acting or making a decision based on experience, knowledge, and good judgment. That is wisdom. And this verse reminds me of King Solomon. King Solomon. When you read in the book of Chronicles, I believe it's 2 Chronicles, chapter 1. Chapter 1, you find the story of Solomon. He went to, I believe it was Gibeon. He went to Gibeon and offered sacrifices for the Lord. And as he offered the sacrifices at night, as he went to sleep, the Lord visited him and asked him a question. He asked him, "Ask for anything, and I will give it to you." Literally anything. That is how the Bible words it. I'm sorry, I haven't used this thing in a long time. But yeah, ask for anything and I will give it to you. We all know what Solomon's response was, but before I go on, let me bring this home a little bit. If God asked you this question this morning, ask me for anything and I will give it to you, what will you ask God for? What will you ask God for? Just think about that. And I'm pretty sure some of us will ask for the best car. You know, God, I want the best car. And some of us will be like, my house is kind of old and I need a new house, God, you know. And others will ask for money. You know, Solomon didn't ask for any of this. Solomon was able to look far beyond the materialistic things that human beings long for or want. He asked for wisdom. That's what he wanted. Because he understood something that we don't understand. Some of us don't understand. He understood the concept of cause and effect, and how every decision we make affects the life, all the things that will happen to us in the future. But going on from this, you may ask, some people may look at this event that we do every graduation day and say, why do we make this a big deal? You know, they're just graduating from 8th grade. You know, why does it matter to cancel everything else that usually happens on Sabbath and make this their day? Well, it's important because let me ask you, which parent will allow their 4-year-old child to go inside a swimming pool without making sure they have a life jacket on or a floating device that they can hold onto before they go in the swimming pool? Which parent will allow their 4-year-old to go in? No one, right? And so we need to understand that these young ladies, and not just them, but others who have come before them as well, they are about to start a 4-year journey. They will meet challenges. And it's up to us, the parents, the young adults, and the spiritual men and women to equip them with the right tools and the right weapons that they may use when they face these challenges that they will face in the following 4 years of their life. So I want to say this to you girls. Right now, Emmanuel's father in the prayer said something that really stuck to me. He said, may this day be unforgettable in your life. Why? Because this is the starting line. This is the starting line. I remember when I graduated, I went to a public school. See, they didn't do any of this for me. They didn't tell me what I was going to face in my high school years, and I just kind of, dived in the ocean and just hoped for the best. But now, this is different for you guys. This is the starting line, and as you begin this race, this 4-year race, you need to understand that you will face challenges. You will have people, as you start running, that will try to pull you from the race. They will ask you to go do drugs. Trust me, I faced those. They will ask you to go do other things that will take your eyes off of God and have you go join the world. But this is not what we're asking for you guys. Like your verse said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom is making a decision based on experience, knowledge, and good judgment. And in the Proverbs 9:10, that's where we saw that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So when you have wisdom, you are able to make a decision, a decision based on experiences. And the experiences are not only your own experiences, but the experiences of your brothers and sisters in the church. We went through stuff, and when you talk to people in the church, they will be able to tell you, oh, this is how I face this. I face this the same way you are facing it, and this is how I overcame it. And those experiences of your own and the church members will help you make a good decision that will help you overcome this situation that you'll be faced with. And one thing that I want to assure you guys, as you begin this race, you won't be alone. You won't be alone. One of my favorite Bible promise is John 15:7. John 15:7 reads, sorry, I didn't have time to give the sound people the verses, so you'll have to turn with me. In the book of John 15:7. And if you're there, say amen. All right, 15:7 says, if ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you will ask me for anything, and it will be done unto you. Just like Solomon, before God was able to ask him, what do you want? Ask me for anything. God did not just come out of nowhere. Solomon did something first. He feared the Lord. He made sacrifices for the Lord. And the Lord was pleased. And so he went to him and asked him, ask me for anything and I will give it to you. And that is exactly what he's promising here as well. In John 15, verse 7, that if you abide in me, if you do my will, if you, in the book, let me read this verse again. Romans 12, the first verse. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable services. So when we offer ourselves as sacrifices, laying ourselves before God and asking God to be the one that uses us, He will be pleased. And when we walk in His words, when we live by His command, and we do His will, He says that anything we ask, He will do for us. So you won't be alone. God is with you and is willing to offer you any kind of help that you may need in the future as you start this race. And not only God will be there for you, but the church family will as well. We know what you're going to face, and so we are here for your support. And so to the church, I want to say this to the church. Let us be great examples. Let us be great examples to these young people and the ones that will be coming behind them. Let us be God-fearing people and show them how to fear God. Because if they don't see it from us, how are they going to know how it needs to be done? They won't know unless we show them. And so let us, as a church, show these young people how to be God-fearing people. And then they will know how to fear God and fear God. And so whenever you face a challenge, young ladies, Imani and Cedar, the first phone call to make is to God. It's to God. Not your friends at school, not your mom, not your dad, not your church member. I'm not saying you guys are not helpful, but I'm saying that the first phone call you need to make is to God. And then after you've talked to God, you will be able to talk to the rest of us. And then together we will be there as your backbone. We will help you guys through anything that you will face as you start your journey. So it is my prayer that you walk fearfully before the Lord as you begin this journey, and also to the church, and also for the church to be there for you and support you in any way possible. Again, congratulations on your accomplishment, and it's my prayer that you walk with God always.
Now is the time where all of your hard work has paid off. Thank you, Mr. Cromwell, for being the representative from our school board and also their Pathfinder leader. Mr. Cromwell will present your diplomas. Imani Evangeline. Cedar Umutoni. Congratulations, lady, as we send you off into your future. Now, Elder Bizuwami will have a prayer of blessing.
Reka dushimire Imana.
Let us thank God.
Dushimire n'iri torero Imana yaduhaye.
Let us thank our church members.
Kandi dushimire yuko yaduhaye n'ishuri rigiramo abana bacu.
Because He has blessed us with a good school, Andrews Academy.
Kuva ndi umwana mutoya nanjye nize mu ishuri ry'Abadventist.
Since he was Okay, I think you'll be able to hear me. So since he was young, he attended his Christian school as well. So when he comes to the United States, he was pleased to have a Christian school. Even his children attended that school, and he thanked God for that. So more blessing, even grandkids are attending that school. So his prayer is that even his grandkids will continue to attend the school.
nkaba nsaba abizera
So he's requesting all the church members
kugira ngo muzagerageza mushyire abana banyu muri iriya shuri
so that they can know and let their kids attend the same school.
ikindi kinshimishije nuko cyanshimishije nuko abitoro bajyanaga abana banjye ku ishuri.
He is very happy that the church members was involved in taking his kids to that school.
None abana banjye nabo bakabajyana abandi bana ku ishuri.
Even now his kids are paying them back.
Ndabishimira Imana.
So he's thanking God for that.
Nkaba ngira ngo mvuge kuri aba bana.
So he's about to talk a little bit about these young ladies.
Ndahera ku babyeyi babo.
He will start with their parent.
Ababyeyi mwahisemo neza.
So parent, you've chosen a good choice.
Kuko muhereje abana banyu muri iriya shuri.
Because you chose to send your kids to the Christian school.
Dushimire n'aba bana nabo.
So we thank again these kids.
Ko nabo bemeye kuba biga muri iriya shuri.
So they were dedicated and they attended that school faithfully.
Hari n'abandi batararangiza n'ababyeyi babo nabo turabashimye n'abandi
So we
turabashimye.
see you again thanking those who volunteered to take their kids to that school, and you thank them for that.
Uyu munsi rero dufite amahirwe ko dufite aba bana kandi baradufasha.
So at this time we are really blessed and we are happy that we have these young ladies graduating today.
Dushima Imana ko barangije iki cyiciro cya mbere.
So we are thanking God they are able to finish this, to have this accomplishment.
Dusaba ababyeyi n'aba bana.
So let us ask the parent for these kids.
Kugira ngo aba bana bazakomeze mu ishuri rikurikiyeho.
So that our kids will go further education.
Mu ishuri rikurikiyeho kugira ngo bazakomeze mu ishuri ry'Abadiventiste bazarangiza high school bari.
And let them attend Adventist school so that they can stay in there.
Mwe gutinya ntihazagira umuntu mwumva n'umwe muzumva Imana kuko rya shuri n'Imana yarishyizeho kugira ngo muryige.
So fear not, just fear God, because he put that school on purpose and he will see you through.
Nimutinya aho muza ngo amafaranga azava hehe.
So don't tell yourself where are we going to find the money.
Isi nibyuzuye n'iby'Uwiteka.
So because the earth and everything is for the Lord.
Ndabasabira kugira ngo noneho ubwo tugiye gusenga.
So his prayer is that
buri muntu wese asengere kugira ngo abana bazakomeze muri ariya mashuri.
Everybody whisper in your heart that our kids will attend Christian education.
Kandi bizabagirira akamaro.
And it will be very beneficial for us.
Kandi dupfukame dusenge.
Let us pray.
Data wiri mu ijuru. Turagushimye cyane kubw'ubuntu bwawe n'ineza yawe. Tugushimiye uburinzi bwawe Nyagasani bwabanye n'aba bana. Bukabana n'abarimu bitanze bakabafasha. Ugafasha ababyeyi babo Nyagasani nabo bakitanga bakabohereza muri aya mashuri. None Mwami Imana bararangije uyu munsi. Turagushimira izina ryawe icyubahiro. Reka dukomeze Mwami Imana tubashyire imbere yawe. Uzabane nabo mu ntambwe yindi bagiye gutera. Uzafasha ababyeyi babo kugira ngo babashyigikire babatere inkunga kugira ngo bazajye kwiga. Uzafasha itorero kugira ngo rikomeze kubasengera. Maze nibarangiza high school, tuzashima izina ryawe. Ibindi tuzagusaba ko barangije high school. Tubishimiye kandi kugira ngo umugisha wawe wabane nabo. Ubane na buri muntu wese waje muri uyu munsi. Ubwo dushimiye ko wabitubashije izina ryawe ntabwo icyubahiro. Kandi tubisenze mu izina rya Yesu. Amen.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for the work of faith that you put in us, and you've said that you who began a good work will complete it. So we claim this promise today for Cedar and Imani. You have been at work in their life. And so we claim this promise that you will continue this work of faith, this work of maturity, that they would bring honor to you and that they would experience the blessings of following your path. Lord, I pray that you would be their vision. This world wants to provide a vision for them, But I pray that you would be their vision, leading them on the path and the plans that you have for them and for the future you have for them. And help us as a church to mentor them as much or more than ever before and support them as they follow your vision. In Jesus' name, amen.